When I talk to a new safety manager, it reminds me of when I was a new safety manager. And I talk to them and I realize they feel like they've got 1,500 things to do. They've got hazards over here. They've got hazards over here. They've got issues over there. They got people getting hurt. They got maintenance fixing problems. And they realize, I got so many problems. And I go, wait. Hey, you don't have a hazard problem. You have a clarity problem. And so you want to grab them by the shoulders and say, hey, listen, it's going to be okay. But if you want to succeed in this job, you have to know what to focus on. The problem is nobody tells you what to focus on. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to focus on in the first 90 days of being a safety manager. Let's jump in. Well, hey friend, my name is David Sawyer. I'm a safety coach. I help busy safety managers, especially new managers, go from feeling overwhelmed to OSHA ready. My goal is to help you prevent accidents and avoid an unexpected OSHA audit. So if you haven't done so already, I've got a great resource you need to check out. It's completely free. If you go to my website, helpwithosha.com, you can download a free OSHA audit checklist. And with this checklist, there's actually a video where I walk you through the checklist and I explain what you need to do at your plant to get your team prepared. Go to my website, download this free checklist, and get your team prepared today. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the first 90 days of being a safety manager. Now, I know it can be overwhelming. It can feel like you have a million things to do because the truth is the reason you were hired is there's a problem with safety. I have never been to a plant where they hired a safety manager and there wasn't a problem with safety. Even if there's a system that's already in place, you have been hired to manage that system, to root out the problems in that system, and to make things better. But if you feel like you're responsible for everything, and in your first couple weeks on the job, you feel like you're drowning because there's so many things that need to be done, just remember, if you try to fix everything, nothing gets accomplished. Safety doesn't start with fixing hazards. Safety starts with knowing what matters. Let me say that again. Safety doesn't start with fixing hazards. Safety starts with what matters. You have to know the priority. You have to know where to focus. So the first 90 days isn't about being perfect. It's not about fixing a bunch of stuff. It's about getting clarity around the issues that matter at your facility. So in this video, I want to talk with you and give you a really simple framework to identify where you need to start. Because when you come in, you're going to have all kinds of things that were left over from the previous administration, right? Think about a president. When a president goes in, they have made a ton of promises of what they're going to do. But on day one, they got to start cleaning up some of the mess from the last guy that was sitting at the desk. And that's true with you too. As a safety manager, there's going to be issues and there's going to be habits that have been developed by the previous administration. And that's okay. Sometimes they're good habits, sometimes they're bad habits, but they're always there. So you want to know, hey, what do the people above me expect? Clarifying expectations is huge. What does a safety manager do here? What am I responsible for? What can I do? How do I spend money to buy better equipment? How do I implement training? What's the production schedule so that I can implement training at times that work with production? Who are my maintenance team? Who's the maintenance manager, the director, the night shift guy that's going to be helping me fix things, the electrician? So you need to know what the expectations are on you before you start putting expectations on everybody else. Now, the real reason a safety manager struggles isn't because of lack of effort. It's because they lack a roadmap. They don't know where to start. So Clarity is the best thing you can start with. We need to know 4 things. There's a layer system to this. So the very first layer is, hey, keep people alive. That's your number one priority. That's the most important thing you need to do. So you need to know what hazards are at the facility that could get somebody killed. Now, oftentimes these hazards are going to be hazards that are around lockout, tagout. They're around fall protection. They're around confined space. They're around electrical. They're around machine guarding. Now, that's going to hit about 95% of the hazards that are going to get somebody killed on the job. So walk around your facility, fresh eyes, get out of the office, walk around your facility and think, what is going to kill somebody? Where could we have a fatality? And a good thing to do is to go back in history. If your facility's been there for a long time, there might have already been a serious accident that's happened in the past. If you've had an employee that was killed 20 years ago, you need to know how that happened. What are we doing now? How do we make sure that never is a reoccurrence? So the first layer is knowing, how is somebody going to get killed on the job? If we have lockout, tagout, confined space, fall protection, if we have those under control, we're probably going to be okay. From there, we're going to be looking at electrical hazards. We're going to be looking at machine guarding. We might even be looking at chemicals if we have certain chemicals that are deadly on site, that if they were released, there'd be an event that would be a catastrophe. So, number one layer, what's going to kill somebody? Serious level 1. Number 2 is a step down from that. We want to know, how do we keep people safe? So we don't want to kill anybody, but we also don't want anybody getting hurt. So that's when you look at the OSHA log and you say, what are some of the common ways that people are getting hurt on the job? Now, maybe you got all zeros. Maybe there's nothing. If that's the case, you're going to be looking at near misses. But you want to know, okay, how someone most likely going to get hurt on the job? Is it something like a slip, trip, and a fall? Is it lifting? Is it a back injury because people are lifting heavy boxes? Is it ergonomics because we got a problem where jobs are causing people to do the same motion over and over and over again, and we got a repetitive motion problem? Is it forklift traffic, right? Do we have people that are getting injured on the forklift? Do we have people getting injured with equipment? These are the things that are going to pop up as frequent accidents. Typically, they're going to be hand injuries. They're going to be slips and trips. They're going to be ergonomic issues. You also want to know where those happen in the workplace most common. So having some kind of trend analysis to figure out, hey, we got 6 departments and 80% of our accidents are coming from this one department, right? This one area of the plant is having 80% of the accidents. I know I need to focus in on that area. So that's a big thing, wanting to know how we keep people safe, how do we prevent the recurrence, the frequent accidents, the injuries where people are going to the doctor or going and getting first aid, or where they almost had an accident. Now, the third layer, this is where a lot of times people start, and that's a mistake. If you're starting here, you're making a mistake. Okay? Compliance. Getting compliance in check. Don't start here. This is a bad place to start. The reason you don't want to start with compliance is you've neglected the first 2. You got issues that could seriously hurt somebody. You got issues that could kill somebody. You got issues that are going to get somebody hurt. The whole reason compliance exists is to prevent 1 and 2. But compliance is OSHA compliance. How do I meet the standards? Now, it's important. Don't misunderstand me. There's a reason those rules are written. People say OSHA rules are written in blood because the reason they exist is people have had one or two happen. Either they've gotten killed on the job or they've gotten seriously hurt on the job. So I'm not saying it's not important, but I've seen people that are so laser focused on making sure they do their monthly fire extinguisher checks that they neglect that the fire suppression system isn't working in area 2 where they had a fire last week. So make sure you focus on compliance after you've handled 1 and 2. Now, the fourth layer is making sure that you are working well with production and maintenance. And what I mean by that is you have some consistency in place. You're developing habits. You have a systematic approach. You have a way to do training. You have a way to do inspections. You have a way to make sure written programs are being updated. So the fourth level is making sure you have a systematic approach and that you are working with production. You are working with maintenance. Now, that's kind of an overarching one, but first 90 days, I want to know what's going to kill somebody. I want to know where my accidents are happening. I'm going to be looking at past history to identify these places. I'm going to be walking the floor. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm going to be building relationships. Safety gets so much easier when you have quality relationships with the people you work with. When they see you as a safety cop out there smacking people on the hand with a ruler, it's not going to help. Right? Not going to make a difference. Now, they need to know you're serious and that there's teeth in the safety program, but the reason you're doing it isn't because you're trying to meet some quota and write up 15 employees a week. It's because you want to keep them safe. You want to protect them. You want to be looking out for them. So, number 1, how's somebody going to get killed? How do we keep people alive? Number 2, how's somebody going to get hurt? How do we prevent these accidents from reoccurring? First aid accidents, doctor's visits. Number 3, we want to make sure that we're in compliance and we're moving toward compliance and we have a systematic approach, which is number 4, building relationships, making sure we have training, we have inspections, we have written programs that are being updated. Now, out of all those, just remember, there's a lot to do here. You are not going to get everything fixed in one day. But if you focus on the right things, you'll make a huge impact and you'll make a difference. Safety is an incredibly rewarding job. If you're a new safety manager and you're thinking, why in the world am I doing this? You make a difference. Your job matters. You help people go home at the end of the day to be with their families. So they do come home at the end of the day. And they come home the same way they went in, right? We don't want people going home with a life-altering injury. Safety is extremely rewarding. I want to wrap it up by telling you a brief story. I had a first aid CPR training where the trainer came in and was conducting the training with a company that I work with. And the training was phenomenal. He was a local fire department or local firefighter and had lots of hands-on experience, had real stories, had stories about the area, the community they were in. Just did a phenomenal job. And I was helping him carry his mannequins out and help him carry his supplies out to his truck, big old pickup truck. And I was walking out the door and I said, man, what you do really makes a difference. You're teaching these guys hands-on skill that will help somebody do CPR, first aid, teaching them how to use an AED. I said, man, you're doing a lot. And this applies not just at work, this applies at home. You know, if they have a problem at home and they can tell if somebody's having a stroke or heart attack, they can help. They can get the necessary medical attention to that person quickly. I said, that's got to be incredibly rewarding for you to be able to come do these trainings. And I'll never forget, he looked at me and he goes, you do the same thing. And immediately you kind of have that feeling of, yeah, but what you're doing is different. You're doing, you're teaching them hands on, right? I'm a safety manager. I'm helping manage. And he goes, no, you're doing the preventative side of it. I'm doing the reactive side of it. When somebody is helping somebody that's cut off their fingers on a saw. That's reactive. We're taking care of them. We want them to get better. We want them to be healed. But if you teach them how not to cut their fingers off, that's even better. So I just thought, yeah, sometimes it's unseen what we do as safety managers. And sometimes you feel like, why in the world am I beating my head against the wall here? The reason is because we're doing everything we can to get these people home to their family the same way they came to work. And if you can say something, if you can do something, if you can create a habit where they shift their mindset, where they go from, well, accidents just happen, right? They just happen. And you can shift their mindset to go, you know what? No, they don't happen. If you do things the right way, every accident is preventable. And when people change their minds about that, you see a huge impact in the culture of the facility. One last thing, and then I'll wrap it up for the day. But I get the opportunity as a safety coach to go in hundreds of different types of organizations. And I say hundreds because I've been doing this over 15 years. And I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and I've seen the ugly. And the ugly ones are the hard ones because I go in and I'm like, I don't even like you. Your management style is horrible. But I'm here not for you. I'm here to help your people. And I want to make sure you keep them safe. And the reason I say that is because as a manager, wherever God has put you, wherever you are working, you're there for a reason. And you can make a huge impact. You can say something, you can do something, you can start a habit that carries on with a worker for their entire life. It's a huge responsibility, but man, it is so incredibly rewarding. So until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.